All right, we're live, everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Everybody's tuning in live. I'm your host tonight, Dave Rodriguez. We've made it. It's the MMA Advocates Episode 13. We'll be joined by Eddie Law, Mr. Eddie Law here at a later point in the show. But for now, got Fred Kirby, Dayton, Ohio. What's happening, my man?
What's happening, fellas? How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. And Jesse, undisclosed location in Los Angeles. What's happening with you, Jesse?
Man, can't show where the Pokestop van is today, but you know what's up.
Well,
I might have to change it to the clown car after all this shit on the news, but you know.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Hey, Zeus, change it to a clown costume down on Crenshaw with all this shit going on. You will be greatly missed, my friend.
Yeah, like I mentioned, everybody, appreciate y'all tuning in. It's a little bit of delayed start time, but we're here. We got three of the cats in the mix. Eddie will join us later. Let's start things out, fellas. We're coming off a real strange card, I guess you could say, in one word, for UFC Portland. It didn't do the greatest numbers. I mean, it did. I think it had the worst viewing numbers in 2016 for a fight night. I think there was only like 6,000 people in attendance. So yeah, very, very strange main event. A lot of people were kind of pissed off, about the Dodson decision. There was a lot of underdog wins, unexpected guys coming up, rising
6,000. Was that all of Portland that showed up for that, or what? Did they shut down all the beard and hipster spots for that night, or what?
Yeah, unbelievably, I thought that's a super low number. I mean, they're in the Moda Center. I mean, that's a pretty poppin' venue. I mean, I thought maybe they'd show up and at least 10,000 large in there, but unexpectedly that was a very small crowd. But then again, with that type of main event, I mean, there was a few fights that fell out. It ended up being overall, I mean, I enjoyed it as a hardcore. I mean, I know you guys can, vouch with me on that. I mean, the upsets, though, let's start on that. I mean, well, actually, you know what? Let's start from the main event on. Like I was talking with you, Fred, before we went live. I think the John Dodson decision, I mean, a lot of people were just speculating, saying that, John easily won the fight, that it was people weren't really arguing the decision, honestly, on the Lineker side. But Fred, man, you made a point after the show, after the main event, that you saw it a different way. What do you think, and what would you grade that UFC Portland card, my man?
The card kind of blew. Fucking a solid D plus C minus. It was all right. Like you said, he was a hardcore fan. I mean, it was some fights. The main event was good. The co-main event was weird because it had an injury and shit. Like, the main card was all right. It wasn't nothing special, though. Now, as far as that fucking decision goes in the main event, I thought that shit was horrendous. I do not think that fight was, like, we were just talking about this shit before we went live. I don't think the fight was really close. I guess the only argument I hear people making is that Lineker was pressing the fight. He was moving forward all the time, which is a big bunch of I don't give a fuck. Half the time he was getting cracked in his fucking jaw for his fucking troubles. And then, yeah, sometimes fucking Dodson had to run in the middle of the cage to fucking not get the dog shit knocked out of him by Lineker, because that's exactly how you lose that fight. I don't understand how the fuck that judges hold that against him. Maybe it was remotely close certain rounds. I mean, Lineker did get his licks in. It wasn't like a wash. But I certainly do not think that John Lineker deserved to win that fight. Not by a long shot. Visible damages and everything, but what the fuck? John Lineker's face low-key looked like shit. Like he hadn't even been in a fight.
Yeah.
You do the fucking math. I mean, Dodson never got dropped. He didn't get taken down. There was no fucking submission attempts. So somebody please explain to me, statistically speaking, how the fuck John Lineker won that fight.
And Jesse, man, I mean,
in my opinion,
man, I agree with you. I totally agree with you that decision definitely didn't warrant. It didn't go to the right guy. But I also think that, like I was telling you guys earlier, I think the biggest problem too with that kind of, Jackson Winklejohn strategy that we have now, that we've seen a couple times now, where it's resetting, to the center of the octagon to get your bearings, straight and everything. And we saw Conor McGregor kind of use that same strategy. But I think what hurt Dodson too in that is that cage is so big by comparison to the little guys. It made him look like he was running quite a bit more distance than it probably was. I mean, it was probably 5-6 steps he was really taking, in all honesty. but he's such, it looks so big, the gap that he's trying to cover because he's such a little guy, I think, in my opinion. And I think the judges kind of dinged him on that. They were like, oh, look, he's disengaging the fight and running, and, most of us understand that if you don't do that, you're just going to get cornered, right into the cage. Then you're going to eat one of those, famous fists from John Lineker, and then you're going to go to sleep. And then, well, there's your strategy. It's over. So, I mean, I think most hardcore people understand that the strategy there was perfect, but I think the judges just saw that more of a disengaging of the fight and kind of, instead of a reset, they just saw it as like a kind of didn't want to engage in the fight. And again, like you said, a lot of people also point to the fact that Lineker was moving forward. I don't like that either, because there's moving forward, and then there's also, bringing the fight to somebody, but in a smart manner. The same complaint I had with the Diaz brothers. Instead of cutting off the cage, they just move forward, and then they're like, hey, man, why aren't you fighting me? You just have to adjust your strategy to the opponent. And if you can't cut off the cage, then you shouldn't complain if you lose a decision because, oh, well, I was dictating the pace because I was moving forward. No, you just kept moving forward, and the guy knew how to get away from you and, punch you from the outside and not get caught. So it's like there's so many different ways you can look at this fight. Obviously, the judges are kind of retarded, in my opinion, because as we were talking earlier, they had another decision that, just kind of didn't go the way that I thought either. Due to the fact that, the control and everything of the octagon and everything and how the fight went. And they kind of just went based on like, ooh, the guy that threw the heavier shots, that's the guy that won, even though the other guy, controlled the fight better, just controlled space and everything better. So, I mean, it's just a weird night of fights. I mean, those judges really, like Fred said, maybe they needed to be in a soundproof room or something, watching these 4K fights. I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows what's the solution?
And honestly, I mean, what I took from the fight, fellas, I mean, you did made some great points. I mean, what I took from the fight initially is I think that Dodson going into the bout, knowing that he's a Jackson Wink fighter, he's going to stick to the game plan. I think what he did was the way to beat John Lineker, exactly like Fred said. You can't just stand and bang with the guy. That's the way to lose the fight. So Jackson Wink fighters stick to the game plan. And I think they kind of underestimated Lineker keeping up that type of style, his taxing style where he's winging hooks from hell, basically one after another as he walks you down. So I think that they kind of underestimated him, and he did surprise some people with the gas tank. He did come in overweight, but I think that's what I took from the fight is that, they didn't expect him to go 3 rounds pushing that type of pace. So like you guys said, it's a strange main event. There's a lot to argue there. I guess, I don't know if you guys caught it, Mr. Nick Diaz tweeted out right after the main event and kind of, leaning towards the side of John Lineker, I think, and said that was an easy fight to call. So everybody has their take on the fight. So it's sort of a weird main event, but I thought it could have possibly been a draw in some aspects too as well. So, but as we move on the card, I mean, we mentioned the upsets that took place. I mean, man, let's go right down the card on the list. I mean, Alex Cowboy Oliveira against Will Brooks. Alex Oliveira goes in there overweight. Will Brooks feeling very disrespected in that aspect. Showed him, that, hey, I'm a professional, made weight, kind of disrespected him pretty good at the weigh-in. So Cowboy didn't like that. We all seen what unfolded afterwards. But what do you guys think of let's start with Jesse here, man. Will Brooks taking this fight with the bigger Alex Oliveira, man, knowing that this guy is just a bigger frame guy, just all around bigger dude. I mean, did Will Brooks make a mistake in taking the Cowboy Oliveira fight, Jesse?
I don't think he made a mistake. I think he made a miscalculation in the sense that he didn't. I don't think he accounted for how he was basically fighting a welterweight. A dude that is a big guy. I mean, in the cage, you could tell the power difference. The strength difference. I mean, once he put him up against the cage, Will Brooks was trying pretty much every move you could see him like thinking like, holy God, like I can't get this guy off me. Like, his grip strength, everything. I'm pretty sure he was like just taken aback by how strong Cowboy was in those clinch things. But I mean, honestly, again, another weird thing because I mean, both the co-main and the main were basically a wash fights because you kind of can't count them because both of these guys miss weight. So you can't give Lineker a title shot off of that. and he kind of can't really move Cowboy in that division either. But two guys, took a loss too. So it's like two guys that could also have moved forward now can't because they went up against guys that set them back. So I just think that whole thing just screwed everything up. I think that's probably why we saw such low ratings and everything, because it kind of screwed everything up. I think most people thought that we were going to get Chael Sonnen as the main event here because, Portland native, kind of bring that guy and bring in the ratings. But, man, it was just, I don't know, man. I was disappointed with this whole card.
Yeah. And as we welcome in Mr. Eddie Law, what's happening, my man?
What's up, fellas? Sitting here with wrapped in ice. Fucked up my 3 ribs again today. So,
well, hey, man, we're right on topic. We're talking about Will Brooks, Alex Oliveira.
Oh, man. How embarrassing was that?
So you were done playing touch butt now, Eddie, at the gym? You're done playing touch butt?
Yeah, look, how about this? Come play touch butt, man, and we will put you to sleep. A few times. No, dude, it's I'm getting ready for this tournament on Saturday, so working some gi stuff today, and then afterwards stayed late with my professor and a couple teammates to work some takedowns and correct my shit. So, what are you gonna do, man?
We're on topic, running down the card. UFC Portland. Let's go with Fred, man. Will Brooks took a tough fight, a bigger guy. Like Jesse said, basically a welterweight. So. Let's go with Will Brooks and Lineker, both the winners of the co and the main. What do you do with both these guys, Fred?
You mean Cowboy as the winner?
Mm-hmm.
And Lineker?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. Listen, Lineker can kiss my ass, Jack. I don't think he won. If I'm BW, Lineker got a fucking L in my goddamn book, and that's as far as that goes. And yeah, man, I listen. You asked the original question, did Will Brooks make a bad decision? Here's the fucking deal, man. Hindsight is 20/20, right? Had he won that fight and not got his fucking rib popped out, it probably wouldn't have ended up looking like a bad decision. And quite frankly, if his rib didn't get popped out, I still think he could have and probably would have won that fight. Again, hindsight is 20/20. He took a fight against a much bigger man, and the bigger man held him against the fence and popped his fucking rib out, which is exactly what a bigger guy will fucking do to you, because that's what they do. That's why they have fucking weight divisions. You know what I'm saying? So inevitably it proved to be a really bad decision, man, because that guy used that weight against him and totally fucking basically won the fight because of it. So, but I mean, shit could have went the other way too. So it's a risk reward type thing. You know what I mean? I see why he took the risk, but it backfired on his ass this time.
Yeah, it was, Will Brooks looked pretty good early on in that fight. And then, like you said, he suffered that injury from a bigger guy. I mean, Eddie, man, you've seen the bout. What'd you see? You see Will Brooks getting beat, and especially finished in that bout? I mean, what a crazy turn of events, man.
I saw Will Brooks break, man, honestly. It just seemed like he broke a little bit because I mean he seemed okay. Look, he got put in bad spots, right? Sure, and taking that fight against Oliveira, I thought was a bad idea to begin with, dude. Like, bigger guy, much stronger guy. Look, let's just pretend that Oliveira made weight, right? Rehydrating, he's over 175 pounds in there on fight night. Now this time around, because he missed weight by 5.5 pounds, whatever it was, he had to weigh in by no more than 175 pounds on fight night. That's still a hell of a lot on a guy like Will Brooks. Okay, Will Brooks just made a mistake and got caught. It's kind of what it was. Now, fucking what's his name? Oliveira afterwards giving him the DX suck it and then talking mad shit right back. That was weird. A lot of people on Twitter were just like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Why people making a big deal? And yeah, they're right. It's probably not a big deal. But how are you gonna miss weight by 5.5 pounds and talk shit, dude? Like, come on. And then afterwards think that you're gonna move up in rank and all that shit. I mean, Lineker did the same thing. Lineker's asking for a title shot and shit. The fuck is that about? You missed the weight, motherfucker.
Hey,
for the fifth time.
At least
Has Lineker ever made weight?
Maybe once. I don't remember.
He's the fucking undisputed king of not making weight. That's a fucking fact, Jack.
He's missed, I think they said 30% of his fights he's missed weight. So, I think Luke
damn.
How you go up in weight and still miss the weight?
Anthony Johnson style?
It's lack of giving a fuck. That dude ran out of fucks right before the weight cut started.
Yeah, but I mean, he missed it by what, like half a pound, right? 0.5. I mean, Cowboy's the one that This Cowboy's the
Yeah,
one that's like
that's true.
egregious. I mean, 5.5
Yeah, that's
pounds.
true.
That's like he woke up in the morning and was like, nah, I'm not gonna make weight, and just started eating
But
acai or whatever.
Mhm.
has the Brazilian Cowboy ever missed weight before?
I think
I
he
don't think
did
so.
once before.
He said never in
Okay,
his
well, maybe like
career. He
once.
mentioned it, I think.
I think he did once before at 155,
Okay,
and that's why he moved up to 170. But for some reason, he took this fight at 155 again, and here we are.
right. Okay. Well, either way, it wasn't a thing for him. Lineker literally never makes weight. He's a half a pound off. Bruh, you need to do what you need to do. And you are close to a title shot. Fucking the Brazilian Cowboy ain't sniffing a title shot at neither weight division. So quite frankly, it doesn't matter that much to him. John Lineker's got a lot riding on this shit. You know what I'm saying? You even got to get to the decision, you lucky prick. And you still didn't make weight, which kind of still fucks you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you
I want
got to
to
make
get
weight,
back
bro.
to I think I want to get back to the 135-pound division. Let's touch on a couple other the upsets of the night. I know Jesse, you mentioned the Zach Otto upset. You predicted that one. Brandon Moreno, guys. I mean, shit. Who's seen Brandon Moreno choking out Luis Smoko in the first
What
round?
a bad motherfucker, dude. I'm such a fan of Moreno now. I mean, Smoko was talking all that shit, but calling Sergio Pettis, telling him his busted vagina, whatever it was, and then having a kid come in on last, like literally almost last second notice, and getting subbed by that kid, dude. Smoker's got some explaining to do.
You mean he got pieced up, then he got subbed? Because did
Yeah,
you see
that's
his
true.
face afterward? No,
He got
let
fucked
me
up.
ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Does that prove, does that kind of solidify the guys that are in that, what is it, the tough show that's happening right now? Does that kind of solidify that those guys are actually the best of the best that are going to go at least a go?
Wait. Are you comparing Smoker to Demetrius Johnson?
No.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
what I
that,
was wondering.
look, like a guy that was on the tough show, right? Had his shot, lost his first fight, right? He was a champion before, whatever. Now he's in the UFC. He went up against what was he? Smoko, number 9 or something in the division.
Yeah, he was ranked.
And
Okay.
Moreno ran through him like pretty much like nothing. I mean, Smoka, you could say anything that he wasn't, he didn't give him the respect or anything, but this dude was a champ out of the UFC, didn't make it through the tough house, but came in here and whooped on a number 9 ranked guy. Like, I mean, that to me that says a lot for the tough season.
Look, those guys, all the guys in the tough season are champions, right? In some organization or another, they're legit. Like, don't get it twisted. Winning the title is a big fucking deal, and all these guys being champions is a big deal. That being said, I don't see any of those guys being good enough to beat Demetrius Johnson, right? However,
I'm not saying to
coming
beat
in,
Demetrius Johnson. I'm saying to beat top players.
Well, no, of course, right? Of course. I mean, it definitely gives those guys a lot of credit, but especially a guy like Moreno, 22 years old, young cat coming in like that and finishing the fight in that manner. I mean, goddamn, dude, I was very impressed with the fact that he handled the jitters and all that shit so well, and then finished the fight. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, props to Marino, man. He showed up big. I mean, shit, nope, that was the most unexpected thing of the night. I think Andre Fili, Eddie, I know you picked him to win. He showed up big against Hakron Diaz, biggest win of his career, man. So moving forward, look to see Andre Fili in a pretty big time bout, possibly outside of the top 10 type deal there. So let's go back to the 135-pound division. John Lineker was called out by Brian Caraway. Does that fight happen, guys? And I mean, the 135-pound division. I mean, does fucking Cody Garbrandt get the Cruz fight? Is it Dillashaw? What is it? Fred Kirby.
Look,
Listen, I would give Cody Garbrandt the shot at the title. It's a fresh fight. They got a little bit of heat there. Quite frankly, I think that fight does better numbers than a Dillashaw rematch. And I'll tell you what I would do with TJ Dillashaw. You cute little prick, John Lineker, since you want to get gifted a decision that you don't deserve, I feed fucking Lineker to TJ. And I tell you what, you better make weight. If you don't make weight, I don't give a fuck if you still TJ's soul, you ain't getting a title shot. And go ahead. Fucking you and Jose and the whole most of you. Go to Bellator, the WWF, wherever the fuck you want to go. But you make weight and you beat TJ Dillashaw, and we line up the money fight in the meantime. And you know what, Brian Caraway? Fucking, that's what you get, Brian.
Hey, look, here's the thing. Real quick about the Lineker decision, and Mania Mac is on the YouTube comments. He says, and he makes a good point. He says, I think judges are starting to move towards the upcoming rule change. Lineker had higher impact, as in moments that rocked the opponent to possibly finish the fight. They'll be judged purple on uncommitted strike. What?
Oh shit!
No, no. He's not making that up. That's a rule change. It's gonna be the new category.
I'm saying, but John Lineker didn't. What high impact moments? When did he fucking rock John Dodson?
He did.
I don't know.
Did he?
He did in that first round, and I think in the third round.
No, in the first round, the third round. You sound like you're remembering shit from Moses' day. Rock my ass.
There was some points in that fight where he did clip him pretty good, but John was in and out. It's just that's the style that they thought Lineker couldn't keep up with, and he did. And man, I think sort of maybe the judges may be adjusting, but yeah, like Fred said, there wasn't too much impact.
I wish we could do a quick Photoshop thing with their faces afterwards. Let's just do that.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, who's more fucked up? It's true. No, look, Dodson. I thought Dodson won that fight, but for the record, I thought he should have gotten that decision. I mean, pretty fucking clear.
But you can't say that, Fred. You can't say that because look at all of GSP's fights. GSP always looked like he got hit by like a bat in the face.
But Nick Diaz made him look like shit.
Condit fucked him up the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least those guys were kind of beat up too, right? John Dodson looked like
not
he
really,
didn't have a fucking shiner.
Yeah.
John Dodson looked fine. He didn't have a busted fucking lip. Like, literally, there was nothing wrong with his face at all. Which I know doesn't mean anything necessarily, but what the fuck?
Listen. Let's just go back to the old adage that black don't crack. So, bam. See?
It's a totally racist statement that means nothing right now.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. But,
we're not talking about growing old, goddammit. We're talking about getting punched in the face and not having
I'm saying. It's look, there are certain types of people that don't mark as much as other people. Like if you've got fair skin, white skin, you're gonna mark up really badly. When you have darker skin, Mexican or not Mexican, dark skinned guys, it's harder to show damage. And that's just how it goes.
Tell that to Marvin Eastman after Vitor Belfort cut his face off.
Wait. Yeah, but now you're talking about like hard damage from a guy that used to be able to put an elephant to sleep.
Either way.
Oh shit.
Well, this leads us into our next topic, guys. I mean, John Dodson. I've seen many of his fights. He's a pretty guy. He's like the guy we're about to talk about right now, BJ Penn. He got skin of leather. Doesn't really get cut up. He's a tough bastard.
Coconut head.
So we all heard BJ Penn, Ricardo Lamas scrapped from next week card, guys. Who do you think's a likely opponent? I mean, Jesse, man, where does BJ Penn go, and what's a likely opponent for Ricardo Lamas, man?
Man, I think BJ Penn. I think he started watching some of those the video on Ricardo Lamas and was like, "Woo, I think my knee hurts," and was like, "I'm gonna not take this fight. I'm gonna skip out on this one, and hopefully they give me somebody like who was his original opponent that they had slated for him."
Who, for BJ?
Yeah. The first guy.
Oh, they had him for Cole Miller.
There you go. He's probably looking, hey, Cole Miller, you want some of this again? Let's remake that fight because I think he kind of wised up a little bit. But in all honesty, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with BJ. I mean, what is this, the second or third fight that he's kind of fallen out of? Like, he kind of said he was going to have a fight before, didn't. Now he's hurt. I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like maybe we should pump the brakes on BJ coming back.
Yeah, what do you think, Fred?
I think that's just about the silliest thing I've ever heard, which doesn't surprise me at all coming out of Jesus' mouth. Good shit, Jesus. Listen, no, it matters fucking zero. You know what really sucks is this card's in the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
It ain't like they get a whole lot of cards. BJ was this card. The Philippines just got their cock shot off. This sucks for them because they're with their card. As far as BJ goes, man, BJ is BJ. He'll always be BJ. Whenever he does come back, they'll book him against somebody, and we'll all tune in, right? Because it's BJ motherfucking Penn. And as far as Jesus being disrespectful and saying he's avoiding Ricardo Lamas, who got BJ's one of the greatest goddamn fighters of all time. BJ is the guy that went up and fought George. None of this pussy shit about being scared. Believe
Here
me,
we go.
BJ's not ducking fucking Ricardo, the quote-unquote bully Loomis. And shit, man. He's Hawaiian. He's fucking bitches and smoking trees and shit. He's probably like, fuck it. I ain't gonna make it. I'm
Eddie,
too much spam.
Yeah, Eddie, man. I mentioned like Alex Caceres earlier, but I mean, who shows up to fight Ricardo in the Philippines, man?
I'm not sure, man. You know what? Minnie and Max just said that Dan Hooker, the Hangman Hooker, he's campaigning for it. So I mean, why not? And look, at this point, look, you're not gonna get anybody. Just like Fred said, right? The Philippines just lost the shit. Like they lost the guy on their card, right? They lost BJ Penn. This card's kind of shot because of that.
Was the card.
Right. So who's gonna bring in last second to replace that guy? You ain't getting nobody. You know what I mean? Not on days' notice. You know what I mean? When is that card again?
Next Saturday. Well, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that.
Okay, never mind. Maybe there's a chance to get somebody, but I wouldn't mind just throwing. Look, anyone you're throwing, there's not going to be a BJ Penn. I mean, let's just be real about it. Now, is there any? Has anyone said that what BJ's out with? Any injury? What the injury is?
Yeah,
Nope.
I'm not too sure. No.
Nothing.
No.
Yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, fuck, I don't know what to tell you then. Because if it was something for him to pull out this far out, it's because he knows he's not going to even be able to be like close to even ready for that fight. Now, why not call Uriah Faber?
Yeah, Faber's a company guy.
I'd call Uriah Faber.
Show up,
Company guy likes to get paid, wants to get money.
Right. You need somebody with some kind of star power if you want to remotely save this card at all. Because listen, could you find a 45er to book Ricardo against? Sure. Like Dan the Hangman Hooker. They'll fucking hustle up somebody to fight him. But that is a fucking a ratings disaster, though.
Oh yeah.
Fight pass and all, but you know what I'm saying? If Ricardo Lamas ends up being the name on the card, this card is fucked. All due respect to Ricardo, but like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do too. Like, maybe the UFC will just have to do it and make, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like, I don't know how, Uriah is a company guy, but what the fuck, right? 9 days notice to fight in the Philippines against fucking, I don't even know really how they sell that fight on Uriah for real. Like, if they could, though, I can't think of a whole lot of better options.
Like I said, there's not many guys, right? You need star power, you need a name, you need a guy people are actually going to tune in to watch. Right. That's the guy. He might be a douche, but that's the guy, right? You bring him in, fight at 145, his last fight kind of went to shit. And I think, wasn't he a headliner there against Edgar and got fucked up?
Yeah,
I mean, why not go back and maybe redeem yourself in front of the Filipino audience? I mean, it's not a bad idea, really. But is it a long shot, like Fred said? Yeah, I don't know how you sell this shit to Uriah Faber, but Faber being Faber, company guy, likes to get paid and likes to get out there and be the star of the show. If I'm Uriah Faber, I think about it at least, and I actually consider it, and maybe go for it. But look, Ricardo Lamas is not a bitch. That dude can fucking hurt you, no problem. And we all know Faber does not like leg kicks, and Lamas throws kicks like a fucking baseball bat, fucking speed and pain and all that shit. So, but I don't know. The UFC's in a little bit of a bind here. They'll find somebody though to fight him without a problem. There's always somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do if they decide to keep Lamas as the main event slot, because what do? Put Derek Lewis and Marcin Tybura as the main event, which is the main event? So
no, you don't do that shit at all. I mean, look, I don't mind that fight as later on the card, but not as the main event.
Yeah, because if they don't get a name, I agree with Fred. Like you said, they fucking shot their dick off with that BJ fall off. So,
I don't know, man. Am I reading this right? That what's his name Ricardo Lamas isn't even ranked?
He's lost a couple fights. I don't doubt it.
So, oh man, like I'm hearing all this stuff, and I'm looking at the card. Man, this is a card that, I mean, this might be one of the ones where you kind of just give everybody their money back and kind of figure it out. I think because, think about it. Look at who's on this card. I mean, the only named people that are on here really, and they're fighting kind of nobodies, is Sam Alvey. And then you got Cole Miller, and then Derek Lewis.
It's a fight pass card, man.
Oh, man, it's tough. It's a tough fight. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know how you headline that
Yeah.
card with anybody. Really, nobody on that card can really save that card.
Yeah, I mean, based on location, I can see where the Dan Hooker fight could make sense. He's right there. He can make weight and be ready to go. I'd like to see Dan get that fight, but definitely not the main event with BJ though. So yeah, they're gonna have some. I mean, they're gonna have to make a decision quick, and I think it happens, sometime before UFC 204, I would think. So, let's see.
Oh shit, yo! There's completely off topic, boys. There's a big ass spider on my wall, and I've been keeping an eye on this motherfucker the whole show, and he's moving, Jag. So
Kill that
if he gives me
motherfucker.
an inch, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. But he's right by an opening, and if I go to get him, I'll leave him jumping on my hand or nothing.
Real quick, Mini and Max made a point. Well, not a point. He cleared it out. Ricardo Lamas is actually ranked 4th.
Yeah, I think he's like 6th world. Yeah.
Jesus, Jesse, where the fuck are you looking at?
I'm looking on the UFC rankings.
Well, there you
That's
go.
what
That
I'm
explains it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Ricardo Lamas number 4, featherweight.
Really?
We know those rankings don't mean shit anyway.
Right.
No, they don't.
Confusing as shit. Well, yeah. So listen, you know what we get out of that? Rest in peace to the Philippines card.
Yep.
Yeah, at least it's free for us anyway to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
if you
kind
got
of.
Fight Pass, you got Fight Pass anyways. I feel bad for you if you signed up for Fight Pass to get to watch BJ fight. You definitely took it up the pie hole.
Ooh, I know who to
For the
call.
rest of us.
Call Darren Elkins.
Oh, he just
please,
got a tattoo though. I don't
Please
think he keeps
fucking
it,
don't. Please
No,
don't
call Darren. Look, I'm not saying it's gonna be exciting. We're not gonna. It's not, people don't want to clamor in to watch that dude. But I would not mind watching a walking zombie fight Ricardo Lamas just for the fuck of it.
I mean,
With
it'd be a
that,
fun fight,
the damage tattoo that he got.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Oh man.
But
It's
you're
almost
laughing.
as bad. It's almost as bad as Brock Lesnar's sword with the tip coming or whatever.
I always thought that was a penis on his chest, for real. When I first saw it, I was like, why does he get a dick on his chest? The largest human being to fight probably has a dick on his chest. And then, like, I think I was watching an interview and he explained what it was.
You know what? If I was Brock Lesnar, I would have made it a dick. A big fucking dick. And then when you went, oh, what do you got a dick on your chest for? I'd have beat the shit out of him. You go ask your fucking buddy what my dick's on my chest for. You little pussies.
Hey, and on the topic of Brock Lesnar, fellas, we all heard that there's a disciplinary hearings for John Jones, Brock Lesnar, Nate Diaz have all been postponed. I guess it's set up for just Conor McGregor. I guess it's exclusively for that cat. So we're not going to hear the news about John Jones going forward. So what do you guys think what's the deal with that? Like, what the hell is really going on with that? Eddie, man, what's up with the NSAC, brother?
They're fucking stupid, retarded ass motherfuckers. Sorry, I'm eating. Look, you guys remember seeing that Nick Diaz's attorney totally fucked Pat Rumble up over and over again, and then she lost her shit and tried to get him fucking banned for life. The NSAC is broken. They're not that smart. I don't care how many attorneys there are on that fucking board. Whether they're practicing, they've been on that board for a while. But they got that one dude that used to play baseball on there, or he was complaining that his baseball career got cut short because he was playing against guys that were on steroids. That's just stupid. Now, Diaz asked for whatever postponement, whatever. John Jones did as well, and so did Lesnar, right?
Yeah. Yep.
McGregor didn't. I don't think McGregor gives a fuck. I don't think McGregor even answered that piece of mail or that voicemail. He didn't really hear it. He just said, "Nah, go fuck themselves." So I don't know.
But yeah, it's super interesting that it's like it's the guy we want to hear. What's the next step for John? The Nate deal is kind of like, people blew that shit up to it's fucking stupid. We all know what the deal is with the Nate situation, but fuck that crap. We all want to hear what's happening with John Jones. Fred,
Right.
Man, when do we find out what's happening with John, and when is this shit gonna finally end? And on that topic, we know we got a 205 title bout, Anthony Johnson, DC in Toronto.
Yeah, listen, man, who the fuck knows what's going on with the athletic commission and John Jones? Money talks and bullshit walks, right? They're probably postponing it for a reason. Motherfuckers are throwing money around. John Jones is probably trying to finagle his way out of it. So it's probably, you know what I'm saying? It's probably what we would think it was, man. Like, everybody's probably trying to get their ducks in line so that they can fucking beat the case or what have you. it is what it is. Like that shit don't surprise. That shit came out and everybody was like, "Oh, this is crazy," and blah blah. I was like, "Yeah, true." It didn't really surprise me at all, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. That is what it is. Like, the athletic commission sucks, and those cats got money. They're going to try to beat the case, so they're probably trying to buy themselves some time, I would assume. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And like, of course, they're trying to buy themselves some time, and it makes you can't blame them. That's how you fucking work the system. Nick Diaz,
Well, right.
Yeah, Nick Diaz is the same thing. I mean, fucking brings in, I think he postponed a couple times, and then brought in like some guy that had the balls to bring actual lawyer, like law into this shit. Which, by the way, the most hilarious thing was when I think Limbaugh asked Nick Diaz a question, and his attorney goes, "Objection," and that motherfucker that was like the head of that was like the head commission or whatever for a while. He looks around all confused, like overruled. He looked confused. They are not at all a professional fucking commission. It's a bunch of blockheads that just got assigned to that shit. They just want free fucking tickets to the UFC. I mean, every single fight you see Pat Lumbaugh's dumbass in fucking first row. Every single one. Murnell, same shit. The other guy, whoever the fuck it is, the one dude that's so old, he's like past his bedtime by like 6 o'clock. Every single one of these motherfuckers are just they don't know what the fuck's going on. They're literally making it up as they go, and it's been like that for years. That's why they get crazy. That's why fighters can fuck with them. Except Conor McGregor's like, nah, I'm just gonna deal with it now. I don't really give a fuck what you guys do, and they're not gonna do anything. You think they're gonna do jack shit to Conor McGregor? Fuck no, they're not gonna do anything to that guy. It'll be a slap on the pinky at most. It'll be nothing. A fine, and that's it. They're not going to suspend the guy that's going to fight in New York in a couple months.
But it'll be somewhat of a big deal, and everybody will be fucking talking about that shit. So.
But yeah, of course. When anything happens with Conor McGregor could take a shit, and people will talk about it. Okay, he could put that on Instagram, and people will be. That would think will get the most likes ever. All right, yep. That's how popular that guy is with really everybody, but especially the Bud Lights, the casuals. They love that dude, and that's just how it is. That's what runs the business. It's who's gonna pay all the intention.
I am glad that they finally went ahead and did DC Anthony Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, listen. As much as I like John Jones, and I do still basically look at him as, you know what I'm saying, the king of the light heavyweight division and pretty much the pound-for-pound greatest fighter on earth, he's not active right now. Some shit went down and he can't fight. So there's no sense in us fucking, I don't know, like being worried about John Jones so that motherfucker gets cleared again. Right now, he doesn't exist. What does exist is Anthony Johnson in DC. So, like, you're right. They just booked that fight. Let's focus on that. Listen, what we should be focusing on is the fact that the light heavyweight division sucks. Outside of those two dudes and the fucking John Jones coming back, what the fuck is going on at light heavyweight? Who's there? That division lacks a lot of depth, man.
Yeah, true. It's really just, there's a couple guys at the top. Gustav got his bout, or he dropped out of the bout with Little Nog.
Is there a word on why that happened?
All due respect, the fact that Alexander Gustafsson was going to fight Little Nog is exactly what I'm talking about. Is Little Nog still alive? All due respect. The fact that he was still going to headline against that cat, 205 needs new blood terribly bad.
Oh, badly. But here's the thing. The reason they did that fight is because, he was available and they wanted to put him in a fight. And literally, literally nobody else is available. Anthony Johnson has DC. They weren't going to give him Gustafsson. They weren't going to put Gustafsson underground once again, especially not in front of his own people and shit. I don't know where that fight was supposed to take place or whatever. Glover Teixeira, I think, just fought not too long ago, and I think he got hurt too. Ryan Bader obviously replaced Gustafsson on that card. And Ryan Bader, if I'm not mistaken, already beat Little Nog before, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who's left? OSP, he's fighting soon. Shogun, you're not going to put him against Gustafsson. I don't know why, but he's just not. Rashad Evans is about to fight. Jimmy Manuwa was about to fight. Little Nog is ranked number 9. Nikita Krylov, could have thrown him in there, but who knows the story with that. Corey Anderson, who the fuck was he that guy fight? Elizabeth TV, this guy has knocked the fuck out. Patrick Cummins is number 13, and who gives a shit about that guy either. Misha Cirkunov, who? And Guillaume Billante just pulled out of a fight. So, I mean, it's like fuck it, just put them together. I don't give a shit. Now Gus pulls out. I think he realized it was a stupid fight for him. And Ryan Bader's like, oh, I'll take an easy win. Why not? So.
Somewhat seems like they kind of lined up Gustafson and maybe Jones in 2017, if that's the way he wants to stay out, and then kind of keep that 205 division going just with those names. So, I mean.
Yeah. Look, if I'm
how do
Joe,
you keep it going, though?
What?
I mean, Eddie just ran down the list. How do you keep 205 going with 3 guys, basically? Because, I mean, who wants to see Ryan Bader fight for the title? Who wants to see
Oh,
OSP,
God, no. Please, no.
Teixeira, Shogun, Rashad? Anybody past Johnson and Gustafson, it just is a huge drop-off after that. And like Fred said, we definitely need new blood in there. I definitely think Serkinov, though, you can't discount that guy. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's new to the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So he's building
about 8
his
of
name.
those.
Yeah.
Real quick, here's the thing. If you noticed, and I gotta give props to Diz, to my boy Diz on Twitter. I think he's at Talk MMA. He took the words right out of my mouth. As soon as I heard about the DC Johnson fight, the words main event were not connected to that fight. Tells you 2 things. 1, much bigger fight coming as the main event. And 2, who gives a shit about the 205 division? I mean, if it was such a big division, you'd have made it a main event.
That leads us into our next topic. You mentioned the main event title not assigned to that. Possibly assigned to the biggest star, quote unquote, Dana White in the UFC, the return of Ronda Rousey. We've heard rumors of that bout being somewhat booked halfway there, but I mean, man, do we actually see Rousey return on that type of card with another, big time 205 belt on the line as well? She's gonna have to headline, so.
Yeah, here's the thing. GSP just came out and said that he was gonna make a big announcement next week.
Okay. Well.
The fight's in Toronto or whatever in Canada. Yeah, fights in Canada. GSP says he's got a big announcement. Put 2 and 2 together. I'm calling Nick Diaz GSP 2.
I'm calling Nick Diaz or GSP pulls Jose Aldo and says he's not fighting, and then he jumps over to Bellator.
He would have to get released by the UFC to do that, and Dana White is a motherfucker. He'd be like, oh, you want to go to Bellator? Nope. Nope. You're just not going to fight them, bitch.
Listen,
that's what's going to happen.
Over DW's dead body.
Yeah. Him and Jose.
GSP ain't going. Listen, Jose can walk. George, the money cow St. Pierre, ain't going to fucking place. He can settle in. Jose thinks getting cute. They'll cut his funny fucking ass. But George ain't going no fucking where.
Yeah, dude, GSP sticking around.
That Toronto card, like you said, Eddie, I mean, pretty much lined up to maybe to have the King GSP return there. But yeah, do people really, like, the Nick Diaz fight, I guarantee you it sells. But like Fred was saying, I mean, if it's anybody who can make Nick Diaz boring, it's GSP. Right.
And honestly, the only rematch I want to see with Nick Diaz is with Condit. Literally, like right now, it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Him and Robbie Lawler. But outside of those 2, I really don't care about rematches with Nick Diaz. I'd love to see him against somebody new.
I'm almost on this new UFC wave. Fuck a belt. Fuck it. I don't care about stylistic matchups no more. Matchup. We all know Nick Diaz is one of the best fighters on planet Earth. I don't need to see if he can stop the takedown. Fuck it. I don't care. Put him in there with Robbie Lawler so we can watch 2 dudes fucking fight and have a fun fight for us to watch. I don't need Nick Diaz to chase belts. He's a fucking star at this point, and he puts on fun fights. Let's cater to the guy. Let's boxing it up a bit. I hate to say it, but yeah, fuck it. Let's make some fights that are gonna be fun.
Isn't that what we're kind of doing already? The UFC, that's what they're kind of doing, right? With this whole Conor McGregor, that whole, pretty much all the cards pretty much set for the end of the year. It's kind of looking like they're just money fights, and it would make sense because, like we always talk about, the new owners of the UFC need to make their money back somehow, and they're not going to make it back by making a Ricardo Lamas versus whoever you want to pull out of your ass. They're not going to make money off of that fight.
At the end of the day, listen, are we not entertained? Is anybody?
That's what it's about now.
Rory McDonald said the UFC is not entertaining recently.
Okay, time out. Have you seen Rory McDonald? He's not entertained by anything.
Yeah,
Roy McDonald could watch 4 or 5 strippers shake their asses right in his face, and his face would not change a fucking bit. Okay,
yeah, I mean,
so no.
Seriously, that's ironic that Roy McDonald be the one to say he's not entertained. He literally looks like he could watch a goddamn fucking war bust out in front of him and not even change his facial expression. So,
At all.
You know,
He's creepy bastard.
And listen, let's be honest. Let's keep it funky. He just signed with the competition. I mean, Jesus Christ. Of course, Rory thinks the UFC's not entertaining no more. Motherfucker, please.
I thought that was very interesting that he brought that up. And like you said, Fred,
That poor guy, man.
It's just him and Bellator. And has he made the right decision? We'll find out soon.
Yeah, time will tell.
I mean, we'll see, man. But honestly, the Bellator's trying to build themselves up, or South Korea's trying to build a Bellator with UFC castaways. I mean, and we're getting mixed results right now, but they get a few more, it can make a difference. A little bit of a difference, but a difference.
Like Jose Aldo?
Honestly, I think that'd be a disaster.
Or Khabib saying that he's going to keep the UFC out of Russia.
That's another guy.
That's dumb. That guy's not going anywhere. He's just being like a little pissy. Like, Khabib, chill the fuck out. You're gonna get your shot.
Yeah, they better give him his fucking title shot one way or another.
Here's something I want to ask you guys. Now, last week when I think Dana White came out and said that somebody came out and said that Conor McGregor was about to announce some shit that comes out of left field. And my first thought, and a lot of people on Twitter's first thought too, was, is this guy gonna fucking try to win the 155 belt and then retire or some shit? Like, well, what does it mean out of left field? Personal shit. It's not like he's gonna announce that he's having a baby. That's dumb. He can do that anytime, right?
Yo, y'all really be letting Conor troll y'all, don't y'all? Like, don't y'all get it now? This is what this dude does.
Right, keeps you talking about him. Right, keeps you talking about it. The whole point. No, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. But but just for fun, it's speculation that it might actually be a thing.
No. He's not going, no. Yeah, you fucking geniuses. He's going to become the king of the world and then be like, fuck it. Has anything that Conor McGregor has done or said over the course of the last 3 years made anybody think that he would do this and then just walk away from it? I know he talks a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, this dude's about breaking records and becoming a fucking legend. Yeah, and making money, man. I mean, he's not going to walk away once he becomes the king. I mean, you might have a hard time getting a little prick to defend his belts. He might want to chase a money fight with George or Anderson. He reminds me a lot of old school BJ Penn. Yeah. Which is one thing, and then he's like, all right, on to the next thing. Where's Anderson Silva at? Like, what's that John Jones doing? How to fight him? It'll be hard to contain him, but nah, man, he ain't walking away. He just knows that when he whispers some shit like that, we blow up, man. And he's got a fight coming up. So, I mean,
wait. I got it. His announcement will be that he actually owns IME or whatever, and he's the new owner of the UFC. Bam.
I like it.
By the way, you know how I always make a joke about UFC 209? Fuck it. BJ Penn versus John Jones. Fuck it. Make it happen. I'm down to see that. Why not? I'm down to see
BJ take the fight.
Oh, BJ Penn. Peace back to his mother. He'll say some crazy fucking shit about John Jones and then get smashed.
No shit.
No, good thing you did bring that up, Eddie, though, because, a lot of people are pretty much kind of taking that previous tweet back in April when he said, peace out, retire. They're taking that shit way out of control and thinking that that's actually something Conor wants to do. But couldn't agree more with Fred. I mean, you're not going to become the king and just walk away, in which he's pretty much the fucking king right now. So imagine him holding 2 titles at MSG. He could say anything he wants post-fight. And then on to the next big fucking money fight after that as well.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Listen, Khabib's bitching right now. Khabib comes out and smashes Michael Johnson, which for the record, I think he's going to. And then let's just say Conor does happen to smash Eddie Alvarez, just for the sake of argument. Then let's say they line up a big, huge event somewhere in Europe with Conor and Khabib in Russia, or let's say Ireland.
That'd be just fuck.
I say Conor says no to that, guys. Let's wake the fuck up for 5 seconds. Conor ain't in a fucking place if he wins that belt, dog. Maybe if he loses, maybe. then he gets shamed into pulling a Ronda. But if he wins, there's no fucking way. It's nothing but bigger fights on the horizon, man. No way.
Yeah, and Mini and Max, this is on YouTube, says McGregor doesn't give a fuck about defending the belts. He's supposed to get them in the record, just like Fred said. If he wins, fuck the belts. He's up to chase a Mayweather money train. Look, why not? I mean, look, at this point, what does being a champion actually do for you? Unless unless you really, really, really only give a shit about, I was a champion for so many years, and I'm the best, biggest champion in the UFC, whatever in history. It's about money, man. Especially with the fact that they're just now, the biggest names are just now making a bunch of money. Before then, the biggest names didn't make jack shit.
But I think getting a belt at this point actually does do something for you. It puts you in the conversation, at least. Because now, think about it. If Eddie Alvarez didn't have the belt, where would he be? He wouldn't be in this conversation, right? So I think we still have to put respect on the belts, at least in whatever category Conor McGregor still can reach. I think Conor McGregor, to the point where the belts still hold the prestige. Not that he's defending it, but that he's only fighting champions. And, I would even want to see him fight Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz moving up and having a super fight against Conor. Why not? You guys said, I think after this fight, win or lose, I think it's just going to be the Conor McGregor weight division, and he's just going to have these fun super fights.
It's all about hype, man. It's all about hype and building fights. I guarantee you, if Khabib gets on the mic and calls Conor out after a big win, that's the fight that we're seeing. If Khabib and Conor both win, that's the fight we're seeing. I guarantee it. Especially if Khabib talks a little shit and drums up a little interest in that fight. People would be surprised at how far that shit goes. Listen, Ariel Helwani is actually mentioning Jeremy Stevens as a possible candidate to fight Conor McGregor, just off that horse shit that happened at the thing. Now, but I know, but listen, he's got a slight point. Say Jeremy Stevens happens to knock out Frankie Edgar. I know it's not going to happen. Say he does. And then he gets on the mic and says, Conor McGregor, do you know who I am now? Yeah. There you go.
And then a win over Edgar. Yeah, a win over Edgar is a real fucking badass win for him. So he's set up for that platform. Yep.
Exactly. And when you mix a legit win with some legit drama, that's the type of shit that makes fights, man. These guys are going to have to learn that. I definitely feel what you're saying, Jesus. The belt definitely matters, because you're absolutely right. If Eddie Alvarez didn't have the belt, he ain't getting that Conor fight. But if you don't got the belt, interest. Khabib better run his mouth after that fight, and he better say Conor's name. He better mention Conor by name after that win.
Dude, I really like that idea.
Difference.
I really like that idea of Khabib against Conor in Europe. Even in Ireland. He's making it in Ireland. But that would be a massive fight. Can you know how many people will fly over from Russia to go watch that shit and then have a war actually break out in Ireland? Like, nobody makes it out alive. It'd get insane. I'd watch it on CNN.
I agree with you. That'd be an insane fight. But I think the fight that I think we've all kind of had in our heads, I don't know about you guys, but I've had in my head for a while, is the Conor versus Cowboy fight. Because Cowboy is a guy.
Oh, come the fuck on with that shit. No, do you want to watch a guy that can't fucking start at all? He has to, like, literally crawl his way to the second fucking round to do anything. Almost the second round. I know he just did what he did to I think, Rick's Story. But, I mean, do you really want to fucking watch Conor McGregor knock another guy out in 13 seconds? Cowboy can't fucking start fast. Against Conor, you got to start fast. Or at least be on your shit so you don't get knocked the fuck out. All right? Cowboy's going to get fucked up if that fight happens. He's going to get knocked out. I'm calling it now.
Listen. Cowboy fucked up by not pulling a Jeremy Stevens.
Yep.
I hate to buy into this drama, but Cowboy kept his mouth shut, and now he ain't on the table for that Conor fight, man. The only people that we're thinking about now is Jose, Khabib, and Jeremy Stevens, funny ass, because he jumped in he put his name in the hat.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, but hey, he's there, and we're talking about him, so yeah.
Exactly.
Wait. You still think Jose Aldo's in the mix for one of these fights?
I mean, listen, listen, I do. If Conor gets slept, hypothetically, say Eddie Alvarez sleeps Conor, then they got some bargaining room over Conor. They can go, look, homeboy, you got beat at 70, you got slept at 55, Jose's fixing to walk. You got to go defend your belt at 45. You have to. You didn't win it at 55. We gave you the opportunity. And Jose's still a big fight at 45 if he loses that fight. So I think there's a set of circumstances that could keep Jose,
This to me sounds like like Eddie's gonna sound at the end of the NFL season. Well, if the Giants lose and the Cowboys lose too, and this other seed, ties or splits a couple things here, then my team can get in the playoffs. Like that's how Jose Aldo's chances are right now. He's got to have so many things go right for him to get that fight. I think there's better fights out there, and I go back to this. I think Jose Aldo should stop crying, take a fight, take that Max Holloway fight, make some money, and put his name out there. Make himself the star. That money fight. Make himself that money fight and force Conor to come back. That's the only way he's going to get that fight.
Yeah, and it's the 145 division. I mean, basically, I guess we can all agree to this is that MSG, the Conor, the Eddie fight, they pushed all their chips on that card because Eddie's in a tough spot because of the money situation of him signing for less to fight, the money fight, the red panty night.
What the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah, if he loses, he's in a tough fucking position. But like you guys are saying, what if Conor, or like Fred said, if Conor gets starched, he got smashed by Diaz at 70, he got smashed at 155, it sort of puts him in that weird spot where it's like the Aldo fight presents itself possibly.
But
listen, can I say one thing about the whole Eddie Alvarez situation right quick? Everyone keeps calling him a dumbass for not renegotiating his contract.
How's he not?
I'll tell you why he's not. Because he's lucky to be at the dance. Okay, listen.
What do you mean lucky? No. Who do you mean lucky? Yeah, he has a 155 belt. Conor McGregor with the little boy belt wants the big boy belt. How the fuck is he lucky?
Yeah, that's cute.
No. You made the point. No. You made the point. Without the belt, Eddie's not in this shit. But Conor wants the belt Eddie has, so he's in. I'm sorry, you made the point. But Eddie has the belt. You got to go to the belt.
No.
Right? But guess what? If Eddie gets cute, they book Eddie versus Habib, and they give Conor the Jose fight, or they purposely don't book Conor on the same pay-per-view so that Eddie don't get none of those points. Listen, Eddie is going to make more money with this fight than whatever the alternative would have been.
Right.
I promise you that.
No. And that's true. That's true.
Look, think about it. Don't you think that Tyron Woodley right now has a smile from ear to ear? Don't you think Joanna Jędrzejczyk has a smile from ear to ear right now? Just because they know, hey, I get pay-per-view points. Hey, I'm on the card with Conor. Hey, I'm about to make a killing on this no matter what.
And they're not even fighting the guy. Eddie's got the golden ticket. He can actually knock this cat out, hypothetically.
Yeah,
that's true.
And we don't know. We don't know what kind of incentives are in his clause. Because I would imagine that Eddie Alvarez's clause probably has something where it kicks up, an extra couple bucks in there for once he hits a certain pay-per-view amount that they probably thought he'd never hit. And he's probably going to hit that and exceed that in this fight. So I think it's a smart move for him.
Did you see what happened to Nate Diaz after he beat Conor? There's your fucking incentive.
True.
Nate became a fucking millionaire overnight. All of a sudden, he's on goddamn Conan O'Brien and shit. Like, Conor is the fight, man. I think that Eddie just thought, cool, fucking sign me up and let me take a stab at the lottery. I think he didn't want to get cute. And for them to, listen, man, the UFC's got the money and the power. If Eddie tried to be like, well, I think I should get more money, they might have been like, well, we're going to give you the Russian bear. So now, not only do you not get the money fight, but you get a fight that you're almost inevitably going to lose for sure for a lot less money.
That'd been a fucked up fight.
So, well, right. I bet you Eddie's like, all right, true. Just pay me what you will and give me Conor.
I like how he goes, I didn't ask for more money because it's easy money. It's an easy fight for me. I'm not going to call it easy, Eddie. You need to chill with that shit. But, whatever makes you sound confident.
Hey,
listen,
isn't that what Luis Smoka was saying before this fight?
Yep.
Yeah, guys, so basically dating back to what April when the Diaz-McGregor, the first bout, we all know it was RDA, so everything sort of just lined up for this matchup to take place. So with
God, who's more salty right now than RDA? Had a little bruise on his foot, pulled out of a red panty night, was like, I'll get it back. He ain't never going to get that back. Ever. Yeah. In fact, you know what? The situation that Kirby just pointed out, why Eddie Alvarez didn't ask for more money, with the whole, all right, fine, we'll give you Khabib, and then you likely lose your belt. Literally just happened to RDA.
Right.
RDA. right? So yeah, man, is there anybody that's more fucked over than or not fucked over, but that fucked himself over way more than RDA? I can't think of anybody. That
It's
is
true.
just
It's true. If I'm Eddie Alvarez
I
and
know.
I hurt myself, I'm like a fucking drug addict at work.
oh yeah,
Do not call me. Don't tell
lies.
nobody I'm hurt. I'm taking this fight. I don't give
Yep.
a fuck if Connor starts with me in the first minute. I'm getting these pay-per-view points. I'm getting this money. I don't give a fuck if I'm hurt. I'm taking this fight. This is the money fight. You're right, dog. Fuck your foot, bro. Fuck winning the fight. Just make the walk
Yeah.
and make that shit happen.
Yeah, ice bucket on your foot and Motrin, motherfucker. Go in there with some pain, get starched in the first fucking round, and go home with a big old fucking check and a boot on your leg.
For
you will
real.
be happier than fuck.
Think about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the payday that everybody would have gotten on that UFC 200 card. I mean, a lot of those people are pretty salty too because they missed out not one but two people that would have boosted up that card, which was John Jones and Connor. I mean, I could imagine that probably Brock Lesnar's numbers would have been a lot higher too in that whole scenario. Misha Tate probably would have been walking around with, 5 guys, carrying her bags and stuff instead of just Brian Caraway at this point. But I mean, I think like Fred's saying, the whole money thing right now is Connor. That's all everybody is talking about. And Dana White coming out and saying that Ronda's a bigger draw in the UFC, that's not true. That's just a bargaining chip, in my opinion. That's just a bargaining chip that they're trying to use to kind of lower Connor's power, in my opinion. Because I think they know that they kind of let him off too much on the leash, and now they're trying to rein him back in, and now that's not going to happen.
Hey, look, man. Dana White also said that Nate Diaz is 190 pounds at the last fight. Get the actual fuck out of here with that shit, okay? That guy's a lightweight. He fights in lightweight. All he did was not cut. That's literally all he did, all right? And then he also said, what else he said? Women will never fight in the UFC. Khabib will fight Eddie Alvarez. Should I even keep going? I mean, the fuck? Dana White says a lot of dumb shit. I honestly just don't believe anything he says anymore.
And to talk, we're still to close up the 155 topic. How we're talking about it playing out post 205. There's actually a wild card in the mix, and we'll know what takes place in that bout as it's Tony Ferguson calling out all 155ers. So him taking out RDA down in Mexico. Be sure as hell he's going to call out Conor McGregor with a big win against RDA.
Yeah, listen, he don't have to call out all the 55ers. He's got one very important 55er. He wins that fight. Believe me, he's next in line. He don't got to do nothing. He'll be right
look at his last fight. Look at his last fight where we almost got finished by Lando Venata. Our boy is over here, favorite fighter. Right? So, I mean, he's got a lot more to think about than just thinking about everybody else in the lightweight division. He's got to think about the guy in front of him, or he's going to end up getting slept and looking up at the lights in Mexico down there.
I think he's going to lose that fight anyways, but he definitely better take that shit seriously. So
yeah.
Who's he fighting in Mexico?
RDA.
Oh Jesus! Oh man, I don't know. But Nada knocked him down like 3 or 4 times. RDA is a harder hitter. So
and RDA is a finisher with a legit black belt too, man. So I mean, I can't stand either one of those boys, to be completely honest with you. But like,
yeah, I mean, we pretty much have seen Ferguson go on a tear. I mean, but this is the fight where he makes that next step, and it won't be easy because RDA is a fucking former champion. It sets him up right where he wants to be, but hopefully, like Fred said, he's taking it seriously. He's not focused on just like the riff-raff, talking shit. Wanting to call out McGregor or whoever it is. Eddie, of course, he's going to want to fight Eddie Alvarez if he wins as well, too. So look for Ferguson. Yeah, that RDA fight, that's going to play into the 205 main event as well.
By the way, didn't Lando just announced the fight today?
I believe so, yeah.
Who you got?
I thought it was Jason Stago is what I thought.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that on Twitter a while ago, I think. So
that's a very
somebody had said he was going to move to 145, but I think he's sticking at 55. So
that's perfect. I mean, that's a perfect upgrade to him, especially after he proved himself pretty good in that fight.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
Let's touch a little bit on. I mean, we're talking money fights. There's a pretty big title bout taking place this weekend. Middleweight picture, we've all been pretty much like kind of seeing, this come to fruition. It's all going to pretty much take a full reset with Dan Hendo taking the title in Manchester. So, man, going into Saturday or late Sunday, I guess, guys, what do you guys think is going to possibly play out, and what is the scenario of Bisping defending the title or just Hendo walking off into the sunset?
Go ahead, Fred. I want to hear what Fred's got to say first.
Okay, so actually, I've actually been pretty surprised. A lot of people are picking Bisping to win this fight. I don't get it really. I don't really think Bisping has changed all that terribly much since their first fight. I think that at some point, Hendo's going to land the H-bomb again. I don't think that the knockout will be as pretty as the first one. You can't really replicate that greatness. But I do think that Hendo will eventually land the bomb and win. I will say that I think this is a really fucking great card, actually. Fucking Gegard Mousasi's finally getting the Vitor Belfort fight on the co-main. That's a fucking sick fight. Yes. Pretty much all their top British talents on this card. Jimmy Manoa. The one cat, I can't pronounce that prick's name, but he's on the card too, man. A European guy who's a fucking animal.
I'm sorry, guys. The Lando fight, it's not Jason Sago. Sorry, it's John McDessie.
That's the one.
That's
dude. That's a fight right there. Ooh, okay. What do you know? What card is that on?
The UFC
the same
206,
as
Cormier and Johnson.
Oh no! Put that on 205. I want to see it sooner. That's like a baller fucking fight.
Jason Sago and Rustam Khabilov, so I got that fight mixed up. I thought it was Sago, but they got
a fight too, though.
Khabilov's gonna fuck him up. All right.
Yeah. But listen, man. I think Hendo's gonna eventually land that H-bomb. And listen, I hope that happens. All due respect to Michael Bisping. For real, all bullshit aside, Bisping is been a fun character for the sport, man. His fights are always fun. He gets the entertaining side of it. He's always made it a point to make people interested in his fights. He doesn't have a terribly exciting style to watch, but I always find myself interested in Michael Bisping fights regardless. So he deserves his credit. And I'll be a son of a bitch if he didn't become the champion. I literally remember him a year or two going, I'm going to become the champion. It's my destiny. I fucking giggled. I literally laughed and thought, oh, yeah, that's cute, Mike. You ain't got a shot in the dark. And I'll be a son of a bitch if he didn't prove me and pretty much everybody else wrong and become the fucking champion.
Yeah, dude. Sorry.
I do think that was just a victim of circumstance. I hate to say that I think he got lucky, but fuck it. I think he got lucky. And I think that Dan Henderson is going to make all right in the MMA universe. He's going to win the belt. He's going to retire one of the most decorated MMA fighters of all time, and it's going to give
the most, right?
Well, yeah, maybe possibly.
Yeah, because he had a pride. He had pride. He had a Strike Force.
Yeah.
And this is the only one that's eluded him, right?
Well,
and he had pretty much every other one.
He's also got quite a few losses on there. Anderson went undefeated in the UFC at the top level for a long time. It's debatable is my point. But if he wins this fight, he goes down as one of the greatest all time. And we get to reset the middleweight division. Because like I said, who really looks at Mike as that guy at 185? I hate to shit on the guy. I'm not trying to, but real talk, we all know who the four guys are, right? And they're set up in this tournament type deal. You got Luke and Jacare, and then you got Chris and Romero. One of those four guys is our guy. So let's let the MMA gods play this out right. Give Hendo his big win. Bisping, you had your moment, and God bless you for it. You fucking deserved it. And I'll be a happy camper. Bisping got his run. Hendo got his belt. And we'll get a legit middleweight champion for the first time since Anderson lost the crown.
Shit, you know what? Let's be honest. If it wasn't for Rockhold being such a fucking tool, just an overconfident dumb shit, he'd still be champion more than likely. Right. I mean, look, I don't see. Look, remember that first fight with Bisping? how easy it was for Rocco to win. It was fucking embarrassingly simple. He came in, the face that Rocco was making walking into the cage was fucking annoying as hell. Because he was gonna like, oh, here we go, I gotta fight and make millions of dollars or whatever, it's gonna be thousands of dollars. Oh, geez, I gotta fight in front of a bunch of people watching a pay-per-view. Woe is me, I'd rather be at home playing video games and then knock out left hook to your fucking face. Game, Rocco deserved it. Rocco deserved it. But if he takes that fight seriously, highly likely Michael Bisping never becomes champion. Now, it happens. Super happy for Michael Bisping. But shuffle, H-bomb you to fucking hell again as my boy Henderson walks off into the sunset with the belt.
Man.
Damn.
Jesse, man, I want to – does Bisping, like, in a win over Hendo, I mean, he's pretty much – he's the Hall of Famer. Hendo's the Hall of Famer. But Bisping in a big win over Hendo in his backyard, man, Jesse – what is it going to be like with Bisping holding that gold up in Manchester, man?
I think this is a win-win situation for everybody. Honestly, I think if Henderson wins, that's the ultimate win. If Bisping wins and he retires right afterwards, that's the ultimate win, because not only did he achieve getting the belt, but he also defended it in his home, in his backyard. And then pretty much what else does he have to prove after that? I mean, why take a beating from one of those four guys that's going to be, ready to put it on him afterwards? But I think whoever wins this fight pretty much needs to retire and let that belt kind of reset the division. I think it basically should be both of them should retire after this fight. I don't think either of them have any much more to prove in the UFC or anywhere else. But I guess I'm the only one that's picking Bisping, huh? In this whole crowd over here.
I'm taking Bisping.
I think his striking has greatly improved, actually, now that he's working with Jason Perillo. And I think we've seen the improvements in his boxing and everything. I mean, he put down Anderson Silva with his boxing and his striking. He did eat a flying knee because he got distracted because he was being a retard. But other than that, I mean, his improvement over his last few fights has been pretty impressive. And I think he can actually avoid the power of Dan Henderson. The only problem I see here is that he might be too emotional in this fight, and he might want to knock out Dan Henderson, and he's going to eat one of those H-bombs, and that's going to be the problem. If he stays committed to his striking and, movement and stuff, he's not going to eat that shot. But if he's trying to just exchange and trying to put Dan Henderson out and, pay him back for that knockout, it's going to be a bad night for Bisping.
Listen, it's like fucking a bunch of whores unprotected, right? You can fuck a bunch of bitches unprotected and be just fine. But you fuck that one bitch that's got the HIV and you're fucked. Bisping can dance around for 3 or 4 rounds, 23 minutes for all of me. Dan Henderson has to land one punch. One good punch, and that's all she wrote. I just don't think Bisping can avoid it for 25 minutes. And Bisping can't tire him out. He's not going to make this a grappling affair. He's just going to wait and try to outpoint Dan. Maybe he will, but I just feel like that's a lot more of a dangerous game for Bisping to play.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's totally a dangerous game. It's going to have to be kind of like a John Lineker, John Dodson fight. Because if you stand in front of Dan Henderson long enough, and Dan Henderson proved you don't even have to stand in front of him. Look what he did to Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard went in for a sloppy takedown, and he took elbows to the face that put him to sleep. So, I mean, it's just a scary affair. But I think Bisping is smart enough to avoid that power shot. I mean, we've seen people avoid it, and avoid it pretty well. And I think his movement can actually do that pretty well and efficiently. Like you said, though, it's always rolling the dice. Every time he moves into range, he's hoping he doesn't get snake eyes and eat one of those shots.
And then you got a guy like Victor Belfort on the card, and he's beat both guys in the main event. So, but go ahead, Eddie.
Oh yeah. TRT Tour beat both guys in the main event. Okay, let's not forget that shit. By the way, really, I like Fred's Russian roulette with your dick fucking description there. That was fucking perfect. Actually, it makes a lot of sense too. No, but here's the thing, dude. Like, I don't know. Dude, that right hand you can't fucking avoid long enough. I mean, even I give Lombard a lot of credit. He fucking took it on the chin and survived. That's great. We've seen Michael Bisping get knocked out before, hard, Okay, and I'm calling it right now. It's gonna be shuffle, shuffle, H bomb, and then Henderson is gonna have to move fast, but he's gonna do that flying punch again and get a new logo.
That'd be amazing.
I'm just saying. I think that happens.
Well, we'll all do
So,
a nice breakdown on Friday. I know Andrew Reed's going to join us. We're going to break that card down. Great, fucking fantastic card. So we'll get to that on Friday, absolutely. And then before we close the show, we want to give our condolences, and we all know about the passing of Josh Salmon. So our thoughts and prayers to the Salmon family. Unfortunate loss to the MMA community. So I know he was a great friend of Dwayne Finley. So if you guys check the article on Flow Combat,
Yeah.
great little piece of article on him. Absolutely good stuff. Dwayne's the man. So rest in peace, Josh Salmon. I mean, unfortunate loss. A young cat, 28 years old, was planned on fighting at the UFC Albany card. So my thoughts go out to the Salmon family, definitely.
Yeah, man, it's a unfortunate situation. Regardless of the circumstances, because of course we all know the rumors and all that stuff are here, and whatever, we've all heard what possibly could have been the reason. But regardless of that, man, that's a guy that fought his way out of drugs and into made it into the into tough. Almost went all the way in there. Had a few pretty good fights. Upset a couple guys. I wrote a book. John Anik was talking about, was tweeting about the fact that Salmon wanted to do TV. He was really excited about it, and I just hate seeing that. 2016 has been taking a lot of our guys out. You know what I mean? 2016 has taken a lot of famous people out, but especially in MMA, man. A lot of guys just fuck. And Salmon might not be like a legendary fighter, but from all accounts, one of the all-around good guys in the sport for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. He was definitely a good personality. I never got the chance to actually speak with him personally or anything like that, but from all the podcasts and the writing shit and pretty much everything I ever seen that dude speak on, he always made a really good account for himself. Came across like an intelligent guy and a real big fan of the sport, and like you said, one of the good guys in the sport, man. So definitely a sad day for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things to me that he's shown was how bad depression can be. That fight right after he battled that whole depression and he came back and fought everything through, and trucked Eddie Truck Gordon basically with that head kick. To me, it's inspiring to see that somebody can get through all the trouble that he had in his life and get through it still on a positive side. Because even after everything he went through, he was still a positive guy. From all accounts, everybody says he was always a positive guy. He was always trying to, improve other people, and, would put forth a lot of himself. And he was knowledgeable in our sport and everything. And it sucks, it sucks to lose a guy like that. And unfortunately, if what's the case is true, what a lot of people are saying that could be the case, it's not a bad thing either, in my opinion. We all know that there are sometimes demons that we just cannot fight off. We fight them off as much as we can, but eventually sometimes they win. And it's not a bad thing. It's just to show that some of these things like addiction and depression and all that stuff are really a thing that is something that should be, kind of talked about and brought to the light, because some of those things you just can't avoid sometimes. So whether the case may be that he did fall back into one of those things, or what it was other than that, I mean, it's just hopefully it's something that we can all talk about and hopefully get past and learn from this, from a guy that was by all accounts a great guy.
Oh yeah, we've heard plenty of respect and love for him on Twitter from all of his followers, fans, people at Bloody Elbow. Yeah, so it's been a sad loss for a talented young cat and 28-year-old Josh Salmon. So anything else you guys want to add to the show, or does that wrap it up for everybody?
Yeah, one more thing real quick. Ronda Rousey talking about, she's going to fight Nunes, right? Does anyone think that maybe this layoff has made her kind of like, real quick, who's picking Ronda Rousey to win this fight?
I got Nunes.
Jesse, who you got, man?
It's a
man. It's tough, man, because we've seen so many people come off a layoff, even though they were dominant before, and not look the same. And especially the way she lost, and especially the way Amanda Nunes wins her fights. it just
Right.
doesn't look like a great combination.
Right. Here's why I think I'm picking Ronda, but it's gonna be It's gonna be the weirdest fight you ever seen Ronda in, besides the one that she lost in. I think it's gonna be a long fucking fight, and she's gonna look confused because she's still with fucking Edmund. God damn it! Why is that guy still a coach?
Wait.
Why is he
You know
still a
what though?
coach?
You know what though? That
What?
might help.
How?
That might help because if she's sparring with Travis Brown, I don't think Amanda Nunes can hit harder than Travis Brown.
I'm sure. Look, I'll tell you what. I'm sure Nunes won't be able to hit anything once Ronda pokes her fucking eyeballs out and she's fucking working with Travis Brown. God damn, dude. But at the same time, like, I think my point is Edmund. How is this guy still a coach? For real?
They'll only allow him in the building just because he's with Ronda.
Dude, yeah, exactly my point. If Ronda ever leaves this motherfucker or she retires, you will never hear about Edmund ever again. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. That guy will ether. It'll be gone. But you remember that one guy who was Ronda's coach? Who? Fucking what's his name? Ah, fuck. Like, he had her shadow boxing like a retard. Like, she never looked good doing anything shadow boxing. And he tried to fight Verdum and got fucking front kicked. He got front kicked and shit, looking like a bitch. And he got Travis Brown knocked out twice. You know what I mean? Like, or 3 times out, I think it is. I don't even know. But regardless, if Ronda comes in with Edmund, I might, I'm picking Ronda anyway, but oh man, it's going to be a rough fight.
Yeah, well, the UFC's biggest star has got to be back in the mix if they're talking her up in that game. And I mean, we're in an era now where Conor's the king, so if Rousey's going to come back, definitely not a fucking ideal matchup right back for the title against Deadly Gal and Amanda Nunes. So
hey, but fuck that ideal matchup shit, man. Take that ideal matchup shit across the pond, or take that shit to Bellator. Seriously, man, this is the UFC. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't the best, then you ain't the best. If she knocks you the fuck out, then you ain't the best, and that's just the way it goes. I'm sad to see that you ain't too. If Eddie Alvarez fucking takes Conor down, stomps him out, and submits him, that will make me sad. But this ain't the WWF. You know what I'm saying? If you can't win, then you ain't that dude.
Yeah, you got to be outie.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should probably be fighting for the belt. Sucks if Amanda Nunes fucking snuffs her, but that's the way it goes, Jack.
Yeah, and then it's the William Morris era now, so they need Ronda in the mix and in a big headliner, a big win. They're hoping, but yeah, it's that time. I mean, it's going to get crazy after Saturday with Hendo and Bisping. So we got a lot of great fucking title fights to look forward to, fellas. So that should cap it off for this show, episode 13. Appreciate y'all, everybody tuning in live. You can all check it out on SoundCloud. Check out Fred Kirby on Twitter, Kirby_MMA. Eddie Law, Elaw31. We'll tweet it out. Jesse at spot underscore 1983. So hit us up. The MMA Advocates, episode 13 in the books. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Peace.
Peace.